Hello, Leo. I am Ulrika. I'm a normal card reader, but this time we will use a financial deck for your card reading. The deck contains 44 cards and is done with 3 cards you see here in front of me. You can also see 4 objects here, meaning we will do 4 card readings for the sign of Leo for the month of September. Now, from these 4 objects you see here, you choose or you pick one that you feel most comfortable with, or one you choose one who is most comfortable to your personality. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current financial situation or the advice that you are receiving from the cards regarding that financial situation. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos related to the Leo sign, and then you can decide which symbol or object is fitting you the best. The matches here represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So, Leo, here we go for your card reading for September 2021. Hello, Leo, and welcome to the shell or the water group for your card reading for September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that starting 27 September, Mercury is going retrograde up to 18 October. This is not a good time for signing contracts. Anything you need to put your name under that officializes, it's not a good thing to do. Also, you will see that your train is late, your flight is canceled, packages are wrong delivered, your email don't show up, it has consequences. This is because our mind, the collective mind of all people, is working a little bit slower. Also, it's not a good idea during that period to buy cell phones or like laundry machines, household equipment. Why? Because these things are connected to warranties and the warranties relate to the contract. So the general idea here is that you don't sign any contracts whatsoever. If, however, you are obligated, you feel compelled, or whatever reason, that you sign, double, triple check all the fine print in the contract so you don't have problems afterwards. But my advice would be not to sign any contracts at all. So, Leo, here we go for your card reading, financial card reading for this month. This is the card of remuneration. So it means that probably you're waiting on an increase of salary and you wonder about your current situation and the possibilities that this progress of salary and the progress in your company or in your business would give you. But this card actually questions that. This card tells you don't be too sure that an increase in salary or an increase in your earnings would improve your salary. What really improves your financial condition is your ability to adjust on what you earn regarding connected to your income. An increase in your salary, this card tells you it will have no positive effect for now. Because if you earn more, proportionally, you will increase your expenses, which is often almost all the time the case with people. On the other hand, if you start controlling and you start to take authority over your expenses, you will see that you have improvement. So this card tells you to do efforts in order to a better management, your daily expenses in relationship to what you earn. Afterwards, then you can focus on increasing your income. But this card now tells you to balance. That's why we see the balance here. You need to balance your income regarding to your expenses and reversed. By doing so, you will have a better chance of improving the overall situation that you are in now. The second card here is visual reminders. What does this mean? Well, despite probably your best intentions, as we all do, we spend too much on our credit card. And probably your memory is playing games on you, and you no longer can make the distinction between necessities and important items. When you go for shopping, you don't know anymore what is important, and you just buy items that you actually don't really need. But this card asks you, what did you spend superficially? And did you do it again? This card asks you. So this card asks you to change the way you use your credit card, which is the last card. They are connected, so the other card is here also. So this card tells you, it wants you to change the way you spend money. A way to do so, it's a small trick that this card teaches you. It tells you to put small reminders on your card, like a sticker. And every time you want to buy something online or in the store, you take your card off your wallet and you see the visual reminder that you actually need to save money. So this will make you think at that moment, and maybe you don't want to buy the article that you have in your basket. This card wants to help you to change the behavior you use your credit cards. Also, if you do online shopping, you change, for instance, your passwords in really necessary or think twice. These are passwords that make you realize that you're gonna buy something else again, and you ask yourself if you really need this purchase. Of course, over time, your brain will get used to these visual aids, and you need to change them on the long run as the passwords. But this card asks you to be creative and use those little reminders to help you to adjust your tendencies for superficial spending. The last card here is then about the credit cards itself. And this card asks you to make a rating of your credit cards. How would you rate your use of your credit cards? Good, bad? How do you see this use of your credit cards? If this is in a positive way, then this card tells you you need to see that you use all the privileges on that card. Because on many cards there are privileges, points, and we can use these points and transfer them sometimes in money gifts. On another way, if you used your card in a negative way, like this card and this card reminds us, then we come in a different situation. Then this card tells you that you probably should stop spending too much or so much. It's best not to do like purchases that you don't really need. If we come in a certain condition with our credit cards and it goes in zero or under zero, then we pay enormous interest. Just check on your invoices and the things that you receive from the letters you receive from your credit card company. How much is your interest if you're in the under zero? You will see these amounts are enormous. Maybe you never stop for thinking about that, but this card tells you to be realistic about those facts. It asks you to make a good balance in your credit cards and try to balance yourself out by the end of the month. In this way, you can make your financial situation better instead of worse. If you have an overdue account, it asks you to pay it. Don't go deeper in debts, this card says, but just try to balance it out. This card also tells you don't look for offers anymore, just focus on balancing yourself and not using your credit card so you can balance yourself out and you come in a more easy situation. Probably you're not in a comfortable situation now with your cards. So this card tells you to think wisely about the use of credit cards so you can move forwards in the future in a positive way. So Leo, for the month of September, this is all. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so and see you maybe next time. Bye-bye. Thank you. Hello, Leo, and welcome to the Air Group for your financial card reading for September 2021. Before we start, I mentioned it in every group, Mercury is going retrograde starting 27 September up to 18 October. This is not a good time for signing contracts. Anything you need to put your name under that officializes, it's not a good thing to do. You will see also your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that need to come to your door are wrongly delivered, or the containers is wrong. These are all things that happen during Mercury retrograde. It's because the mind, the collective mind of all people is working a little bit slower. Also, it's not a good idea to buy electronics like cell phones or even laptops or like devices for the housekeeping, laundry machines or microwaves. Why? These are connected to warranty and the warranty is connected to the contract. So anyway, the general idea here is not to make any commitments or agreements that you sign on a contract. If, however, you are obligated, you have no choice, or you feel compelled to sign, please double, triple check the contract because it's possible afterwards you have regrets, you change your mind. There's some clauses in the contract that you overlooked and you want to get out of the contract and you cannot anymore. So anyway, just be careful, or the wise advice would be don't sign any contract during the period that I mentioned. So now here we go with your card laying. The first card that we see here is the card of gifts. We all like to receive gifts, and sometimes during holidays we give in excess. So this card asks you if you are planning to give certain gifts in the future to be yourself more creative. For instance, like you see here, there are pots here with jars. You can make some things and put them in jars. Why? To save money, because Leo is a very creative sign. You can save money and give gifts that have your personal touch, because the most expensive thing in our current society is time. So people will highly appreciate if you make things yourself, because why? You put your own time in making this thing. So, and also at that time, you will not be penalizing your wallet. So it's actually double profits that you make here. It will make your efforts worth the while. So rather than buy small gifts, just come up with a few ideas and create something yourselves in jars or homemade cookies or whatever, put them in jars. So the people will be very happy with them. You can present them with fabrics, ribbons, whatever you think of. So this is like you invest your personal time in those gifts and people will be very happy you did so. Also, you can put cream or soap, jam, whatever you think of, can put in jars. Or if you have other creative ideas, you just do so. This is the card that wants you to be creative and not spend money. If you are actually not this type at all, then you can, for saving money, if you are in the store and you need to buy several presents for several people, you just make a list and you attach a budget specifically for each individual. In that way, you keep your budget balanced and you can calculate before you are in the cashier and you are not shocked when you actually need to pay. Also, in some ways, you can buy in bulk if you want to make things in jars, and also you can save that way. So anyway, this card tells you to prevent to get carried away for compulsive buying and draining your wallet. So this card tells you be Leo and be creative. The last card here, next card that we see here is automatic savings. Probably you are able to make some savings and you come in a better financial condition. And this card tells you to save money in an organized, systematic way. So how does this work? Well, you probably know this system. You go on your laptop, you go on your bank account, and automatically each month, an amount of money that you can miss, you give the order from your computer, it's automatically transferred in your savings account. This is what the idea is of this automatic saving systems. With this money, after 6 months, you will see that you will save a serious amount of money, and probably you are able to save more because you will think about it all the way. You want to make more savings. So after a few months, you can even increase this monthly contribution, and you can use these resources maybe for investing in something else, maybe in your house. Maybe you want to make adjustments to your house, or maybe you want to invest in some funds for your future, maybe for your retirement, or maybe a project in your house, or maybe a trip you want to make on the long run. So by regularly increasing these amounts, you will save or accumulate certain important sums of money that you might need in the future. So this card asks you to discipline yourself with the money that you can miss and start a vicious circle of saving and your own security and financial stability. The last card is about food. It's probably wants to tell us that or we need to eat in a more healthy way, or we need to spend the way we spend money in food in a different way. What do I mean with this? Well, Today we live in a very hectic world, and probably like most of us, you order takeouts or you buy a lot of finished meals in stores, and you very cook yourself. This card wants you to start cooking yourself and be more creative. We have 2 times the same card in the same areas here. This is like you need to use your own creativity for cooking. So this card also tells you not to buy too much takeouts. Take your pots and your pans out of the closet, put them on the fire, buy healthy food, and start cooking yourself. The people around you will be very happy for the time you give to them for cooking yourself. Don't always order out. Also try to avoid from eating in restaurants, and you will save a serious amount of money each month, because the more we spend on takeout, the less we can save. And the central card here, that what the cards ask you to do is to save. So it asks you to break the circle of overspending. Just use your money in a different way. This is what the cards here asks you. And also you will enjoy the art of the culinary art. You will eat better, you will feel healthier, and the most important thing and the purpose of this laying is that you will feel financially healthier and lighter. So anyway, Leo, for the month of September, this is all for now. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so, and see you maybe next month. Bye-bye. Thank you. Hello, Leo, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group for the month of September 2021. Before we start, I mentioned it in every group, starting 27 September up to 18 October. Mercury is going retrograde, meaning this is not a good time to sign any form of contract. Anything you need to put your name under that officialize it, it's not a good thing to do. You will also see that your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that need to be delivered in your home go in the wrong destination, or the containers is wrong. These are all things that are happening during Mercury retrogrades. Excuse me. It's also not a good time to buy cell phones, laundry machines. Why? These things are connected to warranties, and these warranties are connected to the contract. Anyway, the idea is here not to sign any contract at all. During Mercury retrograde, the mind of all the people is working a little bit slower, and this is what actually causes the problem. If, however, for some reason you have no choice than signing a contract, or you feel compelled to do so, please double, triple check the fine print, because it's possible afterwards that you change your mind, you want to get out of the contract, you cannot anymore. There are certain clauses in the contract that you overlooked, or you don't agree with the contract anymore and you cannot get out anymore. So the idea is here to try to avoid, and the wise advice is especially not to sign the contract. So, Leo, for the Stone group, here we go. The first card here is the card of acceptation, a certain situation. Probably we come in a certain situation that we are maneuvered ourselves in. Here, this is actually about management of our finances. It's important. Here, this card says that we manage our finances, and also it's not the right way to do trying to increase your income, but you need to learn to live with the means that you currently have. Whatever the point is right now, we can all inspire to the American dream of abundance and wealth, but the point right now is that you use your reasoning. We need to be happy with the situation and what we have right now. We must accept and appreciate our situation as it is today. This is what this card tells us. You need to realize whatever you want in life, there will always be people that are better off than you. But the other side, there will be also people who are in much worse condition than you. Just look around you on your TV, check online how much problems there are in the world, and people who have very few or nothing at all. Like refugees, just think about that. The bottom line is here, it's not what you earn that matters, but how you manage your income. This is what this card tells you. You must make a balance between your income and your expenses, and whatever the income or the savings might be, it's your actions that determine if you are short or not. So improve your daily life by spending within the means that you have. The second card is connected, and it's actually almost the same card. So it's 2 times almost the same we have here. Everything in life is relative. And here we need to realize that, for giving examples here, for instance, a monthly payment for a house for a family living in a poor country is not the same as if they only have one salary. And in many countries now, they have no more salary. So this $2 for them, it can mean the difference between eating and not eating that day. The real cost, for instance, also for a computer is not the same for everybody. So we are still lucky here in this world where we are, if we are in better conditions, that we still have a computer. Many people don't even have the point anymore, or they don't have a computer anymore. They leave everything behind. They are refugees. So this card asks you to find a balanced budget and be happy what you have now, and realize the magnitude that your salary does for you. This card tells you also that you are the one who is counting and is in charge of your proportions, how you spend money. Ask yourself about the importance of the disbursement that you have right now compared to your earnings. You need to relativize your situation and educate yourself so you can make improvements in your life. Take a piece of paper, make categories of importance, calculate your expenses, and see if you categorize these expenses, what is important for you and what is also out of proportion, and then adjust, put everything in context related to your salary and your income. And then when you will see that certain categories, if you are in a difficult situation, probably are out of proportion. So this card tells you to make the bigger pictures. And the last card connected to it is you need to be more creative with your money. What does that mean? Well, we live in a world where we can buy everything, but our current society it suffocates our imagination and also our wallets. We buy everything we can, but probably, like for instance, if you give a present, you could probably design a box in a few minutes with recycled materials, but probably you prefer to walk around in the mall and check a long time exactly till you find the box that you love, or the dream box for putting your presents inside. Also, like for instance, if your son or your daughter her birthday is coming up, instead of buying a big cake, you just cook it yourself. This is what this card tells us. Instead of always buying, just do something creative and make it yourself. You will save money and you will feel creative. Leo is the sign of creativity, so start thinking out of the box and ask yourself about your real needs. How can you fulfill your real needs differently? So start being creative and think what you can do to be creative and save money at the same time. Make room for your imaginative spirit in your kitchen, in your surrounding, and manage your family, your money, and embark on this adventure. So, Leo, for the stone or the earth group, this is all for now. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. Thank you for watching, and see you maybe next month. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, Leo, and welcome to the fire or the matches group for this month for the card reading. What do we see here? And before we start, I want to mention, I mentioned it in every group, starting 27 September. Mercury is starting to go retrograde, meaning it's not a good idea to sign contracts or anything you put your name under that officialize it. Also, you will see your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that you are waiting for are delivered on the wrong address, or the containers is not correct. These are all things that are happening during Mercury retrograde. It happens because our mind works a little bit slower. That is the mind of all people in the collective. Now, also, it's not a good time for buying cell phones or laundry machines. Why? These things are connected to warranties, and the warranty is connected to the contract, so it could cause troubles also. The general idea here is not to buy anything on contract and to wait till this period is passed. If, however, you feel obligated, you are compelled, you have no choice but signing, double, triple check the contracts, because it's possible after you overlooked some clauses in the contract, you want to get out and you cannot anymore. So you understand the point, it's better not to sign these contracts for that period. Anyway, we proceed now with the fire group. The first card we see here is the card of resilience. What does this card mean? Well, probably you are in a certain financial situation, meaning you are maybe less happy with your financial situation and you need to be a little bit resilient. This card tells you not to be passive and sublimate to your fate. It's reversed. It tells you to reflect over your situation, weighing the pros and cons of your actions. It sees this if you are in certain conditions. Maybe you bought an article that was in publicity and you let yourself seduce, and now you need to be resilient. So acknowledge this lesson and think about it and use this lesson and think about also if you spend small amounts of money. Some people came in problems with always spending small amounts of money. This card tells you not to go in articles that are published or let yourself seduced by publicity. This card tells you to be resilient and to ignore these things. Some people who buy small things all the time get in serious financial problems, and this card wants you to prevent to come in that situation. It wants you to be aware of certain flaws and weaknesses, and if you realize them, turn them into advantages. This is what this card tells you. So don't focus on your bad luck, because it's not bad luck. It's just that you need to spend the way you spend, you need to change it. So this card tells you, you learn now, and you need to learn how to bounce back. So when this situation is a little bit calmed, you will recognize the importance of these lessons. The second card is that we cannot rely on others for balancing ourselves out. That is the main idea here. Also, it's not a good idea. For instance, if your parents are, because this relates to our ancestors, we rely on our grandparents, our parents for additional money, and that, for instance, that we think we can survive on that during our pension. This card tells you to rely on yourself. Also, this card tells you you need to respect your current situation, and also you need to realize that you're in a much better situation that some people in the world are, or compared to your grandparents or people that came in previous generations. This card wants you to realize how little some people have, and probably how little your grandparents had. For instance, they had no access to credit cards, so they were paid, and what they earned, they could spend another penny more. There were no exotic trips, no exotic herbs. The home loans needed to be long paid before due, before the retirement, because they never know what could hit them. It's actually the reverse situation, as you know now. So compare yourself to others and realize that you are in a very good condition. Even this time for now is a little bit unpleasant. You're still in a very good position compared to those people. This card tells you that probably your situation is not comparable with those who live in poverty, who are on the run, as we see daily on the TV, or your grandparents who live in very simple conditions. There is no possible parallel. This is what this card wants to bring our feet on the ground. So this card wants you to reflect over these topics and be resilient if you put yourself in a difficult situation. Probably the situation that you are in, a lot of people are very sensitive for publicity that we see around us. We see it all around us. It's like a propaganda, and some of us are weaker for it than other people. and sometimes we lose direction. And it's like we have always constantly pressure of marketing. We see it on buses, we see it on the internet, it's everywhere. So use ad blockers, ignore the publicity in your mailbox, just try to look over it and take a critical look over towards those things. Also, don't always go in the recent trends, and you will see the world in a new light. Remember how few some of us have. Even now, it's a little bit difficult for you, and try to ignore any form of publicity to bring yourself in a better financial situation. So Leo, for the FIRE group, this is all. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so, and see you maybe next month. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for watching.